Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. Today is Tuesday, and it is 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I am here for another fun-filled show. I got a great returning guest today, Mr. Bass. He and I have not chopped up some airwaves in a long time. So take the children out the room. I'm just going to let you know now. You got time to move them because anything might happen. So before we get started, I always like to give a shout out to my mentor, Dr. Hunt. Dr. Hunt and I have been traveling together in life for 30 plus years. And out of those 30 plus years, he has been a blessing to both me and my family, as well as I have been a blessing to him and his family. And one of the reasons why I talk about mentors as much as I do, because I'm trying to encourage you to get a mentor, someone that you can count on, that'll be there for you in thick and thin. I want you to understand the value of a mentor. Somebody, man, that's got the answers to the questions. And that's what mentors usually do. They have answers to the questions. So get your mentor, and then you get a show so you can shout your mentor out. All right, I want to invite you guys over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. When you get over there, the first thing I want you to notice is that you can watch all live broadcasts directly from the website. All you have to do is watch live right there, and you'll be right in the midst of the show. And then the second thing I want you to notice is all these advertisers, they help make it possible for me to do what I do. And I have a few of them listed here. The first one I want to talk about is RRJ Web. Now, if you have a website that's broken and needs to be fixed, RRJ Web can help you. If you want to create a website, RRJ Web can help you. All you have to do with any of my advertisers is click on the tab. It'll take you right over to their website, and you'll be able to reach out to them directly and find out what they can do to help you. The second one I want to talk about is Sir Synergy. Sir Synergy will help you with your energy needs. If you're interested in doing solar panels for your home or your business, you'll be able to reach out to them and have them come out and do an evaluation. And one of my favorite advertisers, Port Again Sam. Sam and I have been working together for 30 plus years, not quite that much, maybe 15. But Sam brings in some of the best wines and spirits from all over the world. And you need to reach out to Sam so you can find out what your new favorite wine is going to be. I tell you, mine is cognac, y'all. He has some of the best cognac, I tell you. So get over there and check out the cognac, and then that way you'll be able to get into the cognac game like I do. And last but not least, I want to talk about Prince Hunter Financial Group. The Prince Hunter Financial Group, if you're interested in learning about the stock market or the Forex market, they can help you learn. The Prince Hunter Financial Group is offering 4 free classes to anybody that reaches out to them and say they heard about it right here on the show. So definitely get in touch with them so you can start your new career. The Prince Hunter Financial Group. All right, so like I said at the very top, I've got a very good friend and brother of mine that's on the show today, a returning guest. I remember in the beginning when I was doing how we first met, when I was doing my show at a radio station, and my guest didn't make it. And little did I know that Mr. Bass was in the office talking with the owners of the station. And I asked him, I said, "What are you doing for the next 2 hours?" And he said, "Nothing." So then it started a friendship and a brotherhood that has lasted through everything. And I tell you, I love him so much, and I welcome him back to the show again, Mr. Chris Bass.
Oh, well, thank you for that, Dr. Ron. You know, you're my brother, and I love you more. And as someone once said, ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Absolutely. I ain't even going to try.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try. So before we get started really good, I want to give a shout out and respect to some of the DJs that we have lost on this week. For those that don't know worldwide, um, Casper, the Cha Cha Slide, passed away on yesterday, and he is a friend of both of us. And I would be remiss if I didn't start the show out by, giving him a great honor and love that he deserves. And also Washington, the brother that worked at Finney's place, also understand he passed away on this week as well.
Alvin Washington.
Alvin Washington, yes. And I just wanted to give both of their families, a little love and a little respect, a lot of love and a lot of respect. Ain't nothing little about it. They were friends, they were families, they were brothers, and I just wanted to give them the world will miss them and their contributions to what they have done. So I don't know if you want to piggyback off that or not.
No, I will. Thank you for that. I heard about Alvin first, and then unfortunately about DJ Casper. So I was remarking about the picture I put up on my Facebook page, having a handshake between me and Casper. Alvin was playing music during that time. It was Al Greer's birthday, another mutual friend of ours, about a few years back. And like most people, I heard of Casper the first time I ever met him at that party for Al Greer, his birthday party. So we chopped up a little bit for time and took the picture. And again, for someone who had become national, international, from what he did to Cha Cha Slide, still Chicago through and through. He was that type of guy who was still approachable, and not too many people can be that way. It goes back to what Jerry the Iceman Butler once said: to be able to walk with kings and queens and still have the common touch, and that's what Casper had. So his contribution for that song and going beyond to not only Chicago but to the world will be forever immortal. So
Absolutely.
he will never be not forgot. He not only not forgotten, but just a part of our lives. What wedding or what ceremony or even NBA, NFL games do not play that song during halftime or intermission or anytime you need a filler. So that type of thing, when it goes beyond where you are, where you created, it was meant for the world of what he
Absolutely.
did. Now, Alvin, I knew more so because Al and I met at Urban Broadcast Media, just mentioned about Dr. Leon Finney's creation. And it just dawned on me now that, and I said this before when I was talking to Al Greer about Alvin, I needed Alvin. Alvin was my right hand when I was operations manager there. And you always need that person you can trust, the go-to, the one who pretty much knows everything about how you run a business or a corporation. He was that guy. He was a broadcaster's broadcaster. He had fun while he was doing it. And I don't use this word too much, but stone cold genius. That's what Alvin was. It dawned on me just the synergy of things. Alvin and I shared the same birthday, September 4th.
Mm.
And you mentioned about Dr. Finney. Didn't he? Dr. Finney died on my birthday.
Mm.
So it's funny how life had those connects from time to time. It's dawned on me just now about the birthday connection, but to both gentlemen, the contributions are just unforgettable.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, neither will be forgotten. I know that they have, especially Casper, has blessed us with, more music than we can ever forget. Casper, I don't know if you noticed or not, but he just not only did the cha cha slide, he did a Western version, he did a Jamaican version. He had 50 slides. He told me that one day.
Mm.
I got 50 slides. I like, really? I listened to his internet radio station quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to hate to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I listened to it all the way up until he started playing all 50 of them slides. And I'm like, okay, brother, got to come back later.
Oh, man, here comes the 50 slides, man.
Yeah, all 50 of them, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But he was such a likable person. Like I
Yes.
said, a brother and a friend, So, all right, man, what's going on in Mr. Bass World, Bassland? What's happening, man?
Oh, man, just trying to keep it above water. I always say I'm continue the earth, walking the earth like Caine in Kung Fu. And so that's what I do. I keep it simple. I'm just a man with a mic.
A man with a mic. Yeah. So I know we talked about this before, but I think people need to hear it again. That you do how many shows a week?
Now I'm down to one.
Okay.
I put the CBI Chris Space interviews on hiatus. And so I did say that if I do return with the show, it'll probably be like a slow crawl because I usually had it on every Wednesdays. But then when I come back, I might make it twice a month as a slow crawl. If it picks up, then I'll start doing every Wednesday. But for right now, it's on hiatus. I still do Baseline, which airs currently 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, and 2 p.m. Pacific time on Facebook Live.
Okay. And that's Free Your Mind Friday?
Free Your Mind Friday, that's right.
Okay. Cool. So what's the craziest story to date that you've heard on Free Your Mind Friday yet? I'm just curious.
The craziest story I ever heard. Well, I think my audience is freaky, but they don't want to come out and say it. So they kind of like play it to the left a little bit. I'm trying to think of one. I think this one lady, called this was back at UBM, mind you. So when I had the phone lines, this one lady did call up, and she mentioned about wanting to have sex, but her boyfriend out of town, and she didn't want to cheat on him. So she got very inventive and started to use some items around the house.
I'm listening.
I want to say it was like a knob on a door, and then there was something on the furniture, arm-wise, that she had used, and she cleaned off first. So she's a very clean person, so she cleaned it off first, and then used these items to relieve the sexual tension she was going through, and that was enough.
And she talked about it on the air.
Sure did.
Is she from Chicago?
Nope. She didn't say from Chicago. So if I was her, I wouldn't say that at all, because if people find out where you live at,
they want to come by and help you out.
They wanna come by in many ways. So right.
Yeah. Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I think that would allow you to come to that conclusion that a lot of people, freaky people, follow you. Yeah.
I would say so. I don't know if game recognizes game. I won't say anything about that. But if she felt that way, and that's good. I mean, look, I've always said on the program, when you free your mind, your gas will follow. I know it actually meant that in a real sense, but apparently, she got down that way.
I heard that. So now, man, you got me. I don't even know where to go after that.
Yeah.
So
tell me about it.
Yeah. She kind of put it out there like that. She must want it. What did she want you to do?
Oh no, she was just confessing. I mean, sometimes I'm father based. Sometimes people have to come to me and confess things, and
Okay.
it's like omnos dominoes, and go about your
What you say?
freaky
Amados
omnos
Domino?
dominoes. Yeah, omnos dominoes. You cross them up, and then go about your freaky way.
Okay. All right. I heard that. So you ever thought about taking your show on the road?
Yes, I have. I thought about doing some remotes, but then it depends on where I want to go to. I would like to go support black businesses and
Okay.
start doing that. Right now, it's kind of tough to do, but I thought about that recently. I'm glad you asked that question. So hopefully in the near future, if I get a chance to talk to some black-owned businesses and maybe do some shows from there, have the people come out and support what they're doing, and I like to do that.
Okay. Well, that's good. Because, I mean, if you take a Free Your Mind Friday on the road, somebody shows up in a trench coat, then something interesting might can happen.
Well, I've always heard the term, all money ain't good money. So I probably start hiring bodyguards just to be on the safe side.
I heard that. Yeah. Now I know at one time you were doing MC for some folks invited you out, like the one lady. I guess she had a book. I think that was Barbara or something had a book, and you were the host for a book signing or something.
Yeah.
Have you been doing that still?
No, I haven't. It used to be the Checkerboard Club in Hyde Park, and I was asked to MC an event, and I was horrible.
Oh,
I
really?
was horrible. I sucked wind. Um, uh, God couldn't even save me. I think God was like, let him take the L on this one, and I did. And I haven't looked back since. And I had some good friends around me. Like, all right, let me have it. Yeah, Chris, you were awful dog. And I love friends like that. They don't sugarcoat anything. They'll tell you if you were winning or losing. And I was definitely losing that night. And I haven't looked back since. That really hurt me because I thought I was doing good, but apparently I was not. And
So
so,
so so what made you think you sucked at it?
um, as you know, as emceeing yourself, the audience has to connect with the host, and the host to keep the show moving. And apparently, everything I said went over their head like a fart in church. And there was nothing that I said. I wasn't trying to be funny, mind you, just being there. I just didn't connect with the audience, and I couldn't understand why, but I just didn't connect. And when I got off the stage, towards the end, I feel that I just didn't land anything. And so when I got off the stage, I did feel dejected. I did feel like I made any accomplishments, and I did not. And so that's just being completely 100 with you. So when I was talking to my friends at the table, they agreed wholeheartedly with me that was just a bad night. And I haven't looked back since.
Oh man. We've got a good friend on the line. Jed is here.
What's up,
He
Jed?
says, right on, having SNN flashbacks. Two of the baddest men on YouTube. Thank you, sir. We
Thank you.
appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Jed.
Yeah. So y'all know we ain't talking to a dead air. So did you think it was something that you can polish up and then go back at it again, or you just dropped it all together?
I just drop it all together, man. I ain't gonna waste my time on other people's time, man. If I'm not good at that type of thing, then
Uh
and my heart was I mean my heart was in it, but again, it's just I think it's everything, looking back in hindsight. I just was not good. If I do it now, I will probably be better at it. Just, I mean, from the standpoint of experience, I think I would be more engaging. Whatever I did before, you would not want to repeat again. So it was one of those things. I just said, man, the hell with this, man. I could stick to radio and those people won't be scared in my face anymore and things like that. So I could just do like that for the time being. But it did teach me a valuable lesson. I think like anything else, you have to if you want it bad enough, if you have to keep on going. But in that situation, I'm like, I don't want to keep on going. I figured, okay,
Okay.
if I can't take any DNA from
Mm-hmm.
that to build upon, then I guess it wasn't meant for me to do at that time. And everything's about
Gotcha.
timing.
Yeah, because you're an interview style person, and I know depending on the topic and the subject, you don't even have to do no research. It was so funny. One day I sent you in the last couple of weeks, I sent you an email with a video clip off of Facebook, Instagram, something like that. And the actor that was in the clip, I thought was the father on the Hustables back in the day, and you immediately knew, nope, that wasn't him. That that guy, this guy, and you went his whole resume right on down, and I was so impressed with that. And he is just one of many that you carry around knowledge in your head about in the business, in sports, all of those kind of categories that you carry, that you just know. And I was like, wow, how in the hell did he know that?
Well, first of all, thank you for that. And the person referring to who played the grandfather on the Cosby Show was an actor named Earl Hyman. And Earl Hyman was a fantastic stage actor. I told you before, he was also the cousin of Phyllis Hyman. And as a stage performer, if you're a fan of A Raising the Sun by the late great Lorraine Hansberry, and it was on Broadway one point, and Earl Hyman was the original Walter Lee Younger before Sidney Poitier portrayed the role. So information like that fascinates me because I'm always interested in backstories. And so when I read about Mr. Hyman, and also I used to watch Thundercats when I was a kid, he played the voice of Panthro on one of the characters on the cartoon. So the man got around. So those points that I found out, because I remember watching the cartoon, his voice is familiar. Kind of find out he was the voice of Panther on the Thundercats animated series. So that stuff fascinates me, man, and I love to share it with other people.
Yeah, man. So if you did hosting along those lines, you probably would kill the game, for sure. Because I think you did I remember one time, it was like a Comic-Con type thing with Doctor Strange or
Oh,
something.
Doctor Who, yes.
Doctor Who, yeah, yeah. You went out there and did that, and I know you killed that because you know everything about everything.
Oh, man, look, my good friend Rachel Montgomery, who I've known since college, we're both Doctor Who fans. We're like the great ones from Gallifrey, from where Doctor Who was from, the character. And we hosted that. In fact, it was her event. She asked me to co-host with her, so I give all credit to her. And we went out to, I guess it's Stevens Center now, formerly Rosemont Horizon, and we did the Comic-Con out there. And we were the only black host of a Comic-Con event during that time. And we must have packed in about 500 people. Yeah, that was a wonderful time. That was nice.
Yeah. See, you didn't think I remember stuff like that.
No, I know because look, let me tell you something about Dr. Ron. Let me tell you, if you don't know, let me tell you all now. Dr. Ron is the best researcher of all time.
Oh, Lord. There you go.
Yeah.
That's how vicious rumors get started.
Hey, man, it's already out there.
Yeah. So what do you see on the horizon? I know you say you might bring your one show back. So what do you see on the horizon, man? What are you doing? I know I know you're a very personal person, so I let you tell what you want the world to know. So what's going on? What's on the horizon for you?
Well, professional wise, and I shared this with my audience before, I'm still thinking about moving my show to Saturday mornings. And I thought about that. I did it one time. I missed the Friday because I had to take care of some personal reasons, personal business. I said, okay, let me do it on Saturdays to keep up. And that Saturday time I was on 7 a.m. Central, and it felt different, obviously. And I'll always sometimes take the show and put it in different times to see what people, different audiences out there and who's doing what and everything. It's just out of curiosity. And I did that Saturday show, and it was humming. I mean, it was just had a different vibe, and to get up in the morning and not really sleepy, but you give it to get the day started, get your weekend started, had that type of feel to it. So if I was to make that full, quote unquote, full time and make that like the standard morning show of the version I do with Baseline, I'm really seriously consider that. I mean, I'm really seriously leaning towards that. So the people out there might expect some sort of announcement because that was just fun. And not like I don't have fun during my Friday show, but it was a fun that I've experienced in years, being a broadcaster, podcaster. And I just, that was cool. So I'm seriously thinking about moving the show to Saturday mornings.
Now, would you still do the Friday night thing, or you would just drop that?
I would drop that.
Okay.
I'd drop that and do Saturdays. So in the world of bass, To bring back CBI, quiz-based interviews on Wednesdays, and then do the Saturday morning version of Baseline, that could be the new thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then how long is your show normally run?
Baseline runs 2 hours.
So you would still do a 2 hour show?
Right. That'll be from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then the interview show, CBI, will be 1 hour. That's been an hour.
Okay. Okay. Now I know you talk to the Rev all the time
Donovan
on
Price.
Friday. Yeah, on Fridays. Are you getting a feel for what's going on in the city of Chicago now? I know you're seeing it through his eyes and understanding what's going on through his eyes. I mean, what is your feel for what's happening in Chicago with these young people and violence? I know people sometimes they watch the show from all over the world and they ask me dumb questions like, what's wrong with them children in Chicago? Like they don't have bad children where they live at, but they all want to put down Chicago and what's going on here as the high mark of total stupidness. So what's going on? What are you hearing? What are you feeling?
Well, I was seeing this way before I got Donovan on the program, and I thank my brother for coming on every Friday to give us these analysis and long form. Because when I see him on television, and you see him with the street preacher jacket on, or something like that, and only like a 15 seconds of a clip,
Soundbite, yeah.
that's not enough for what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very honored he take the time out to come on my program to let everybody know the real Holyfield, quote unquote, was out there in the street. When I was back working in terrestrial radio at WLS, for example, that was the most years I spent working. I remember we had to cover the Columbine shooting back then. And for some reason, this sticks out. I remember looking at the coverage, and this lady had shouted out, "It's not supposed to happen here." And I said to myself, not to be mean, but yes, the reason why it happens there because evil has no zip code.
That's true.
And I know people want to protect themselves and their families and move out to the suburbs. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you can do that, God bless your ministries. But somebody is not going to have that same mindset as yours. They're going to go out and do the most and do the most work. How the streets operate. So when I heard that, it bothered me because, again, what are you saying? Because unfortunately, I'm very sad that the whole trench coat mafia thing and those two teenage knuckleheads went in there and shot people up was completely wrong. But you cannot admonish the fact that evil is everywhere. And so to I understand where it came from, but then look at the streets now where we're here in Chicago. It's devastating, but talking to the pastor gives me an insight, and also the fact that these people have issues and layers of issues that we don't have the time to get into of who these people are. I'm not condoning what they do. What they do is completely out of bounds to shoot someone. Hell, I remember one time I was talking to Donovan, and you had children who got guns to protect themselves, not
Mm-hmm.
to use, but to protect themselves. But it's about 10 to 12-year-old children
Mm.
putting a gun in their school bag, which should have nothing but school books, and markers and pens and paper, stuff like that. But and now, of course, your cell phones, things like that. But not guns, not guns. But this is the world we're living in, and it's not Chicago, of course. It's across the board, depending on what neighborhood and environment you live in. It's just that is the answer. It literally has become the wild, wild west. If you're a cowboy person or a cowboy fan that watches old cowboy movies and see these old markers on graveyards, Billy Jones got shot over 2 bits and things like that. That's happening now. People getting shot because somebody looked at them wrong, or stepped on their
Mm-hmm.
shoes, or there's something that should not be shot and killed for.
Right.
It's an epidemic, and we're doing it to ourselves. It needs to stop. But it's a case by case basis, and these people that Pastor Price runs into, it's a lot of layers of what's happening in their lives.
Yeah, it's so true. So it's interesting you say that because everybody thought for some reason that instantly that all these things were going to stop when the new mayor came in, Johnson. That all of a sudden the kids weren't going to be, all out scaring the hell out of white folks, because that's who really gets afraid.
Yeah.
But, for those that don't live in Chicago, and what's going on in the urban areas in your town or state, we got crack babies that have grown up now.
Right.
These are, young people whose parents were, on crack, and now there's like about 20th or 30th generation crack babies out there. These people don't have the same type of feelings and remorse about right or wrong. And you're right, for children to be in fear for their life the way that they are is really a sad scenario. And teachers are afraid, students are afraid, but yet they still want them to come to school like everything's all right. And it's not just in Chicago, it's everywhere. And crack is still on the streets.
Yes, sir.
So it's unfortunate that when we deal with situations like this, that we don't have one answer fits all.
Correct.
And the police, they would rather shoot you than to try to deal with you. I've heard somebody say over and over and over again, the police is one of the biggest gangs out there. No matter where you live at, they're one of the biggest gangs out there. They're attacking people, hurting people, out of fear.
And of course, for the record, we all know there's some really good and great cops out there. Unfortunately, the bad ones overshadow the good ones, and that's the bad rap that they have. I think the late great Malcolm X said it best about racists and people who are a part of the KKK get into law enforcement. You trade the robes for police uniforms. You get dogs and guns. And so now you legally can go after black people.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of dogs, what did you think about that scenario in Ohio where the police sicked the dog on a truck driver who was surrendering with his hands up? I know you saw that. That was in the news. Yeah. That was horrible.
I think there's better ways to do things. And once again, I'm not in law enforcement. I didn't know a couple of officers over back in the day who would tell me some things. But other than that, I don't know. But I think that, again, when you look at people and whether they're part of law enforcement or not, and they use animals for that type of thing, to say, now I can understand somebody bringing to your house or somebody's trying to do something wrong to your family or friends like that, and you use them to attack. But I think when you see those type of events happen, it's just not the way to do things, man. And I do believe in karma. I really do. So those same people, I hope, and I know it's bad for them, but to hell with it. And I hope a bigger dog comes back and bite them in the ass.
Yeah. It's crazy because the whole scenario hinged out of fear. The truck driver, as he was riding down the road, when he got ready to pull over and stop, he looked out the window and he saw a trooper or an officer standing there with an assault weapon aimed at him, and he said, "Hold on," and then he took off. Then he called 911 and said, "Look, I'm scared. I'm trying to stop, but I ain't trying to get shot."
Right.
So then when he pulled over, the state troopers, they had put the guns up, and then this fool jumps out the car with a dog and attacks the man. So his fears were warranted. And some people don't even take that in consideration. Sometimes people's fears are very warranted, And, I'm sure Ben Crump going to get him paid, because that's what Ben Crump do. He get people paid. He don't lose too many. They're going to give him some money. But at the end of the day, people ought to start approaching things differently instead of with the same methodology.
Right.
Now, tomorrow I do my show, Street News Now, and we'll be talking about this show, but I'm gonna tease it with you and let you talk about it a little bit. Did you get a chance to see the situation in Alabama?
Yes, I did.
It was all over social media. Man, they've been having a ball with that. Now, look, the folding chair has more publicity.
A chair is still a chair. Lucas Vance's yes. I'm saying, yeah, man. That chair is getting a lot of PR.
Look, I saw chair earrings, chair necklaces. Yep. I've seen every kind of chair wedding cakes.
Chairs going on sale on Amazon.com.
Right. Yeah, look, I saw somebody had a sale on chairs, $1.
That chair, I'm telling you, Doc, that's a whole different universe.
Yeah, man.
Yes, it is.
Social media made a folding chair a star.
The internet is undefeated, as someone once typed.
Yeah. It's interesting, for those that don't know, it was an attack on an employee of a ferry boat in Alabama over the weekend.
Right.
And there were some Caucasians that jumped on the ferry boat driver or whatever he was, the position that he held, and they were jumping on him, white on black type situation.
Right.
So everybody that was on the boat came off the boat to his defense.
Sure did.
And started whooping them folks behind.
All the way, especially the brother who swam.
Yeah, he swam across the water to go help his brother out.
Sure did.
And he was an employee too.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one guy who took a folding chair and went to wearing out this one dude. I mean, wearing him out. And I saw a commentary today from the mayor, the police chief of Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, this is such a disgrace, that we have to, be talked about in this way. Nothing bad about them, those Klansmen that jumped on that brother. That was okay. Now all three of them got arrested for a change.
Yes, they did.
Because usually it's the other way around.
Right.
But lately, knock on wood, Karens have been going to jail.
Well, you can't tell me there's no God.
Yeah. Karens are out there lying on folks and doing things that are horrible and never have been held accountable. Thank God for cell phone video to clear people.
Yes.
Let me see what Jed got to say here.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard one guy went SEAL Team 6 on those races. Yep. He went SEAL Team 6, bro. Well, I'm telling you.
Let me tell you something. God forbid it ever happens to me, but if I get into a scuffle with some racist white people, if I throw my baseball cap in the air, y'all come help me.
That's the symbol?
Yeah, that's the symbol. That's the sign. If I throw my baseball cap in the air, that's it. Because my man threw his baseball cap in the air. He threw the air. He threw the hat sign, not the bat signal, the hat signal.
They came.
Man, they came in droves. That's how you do it.
Yep, look. And they had females that were in the scuffle.
Yes.
And then sisters showed up to help. Like, they handled them chicks.
Hey, sisters are doing it for themselves, man. They were in there, elbowing and cleaning out clocks just like the guys were.
Yeah, look, they threw a guy in the water.
Threw him in the drink, right?
Yeah. Oh man, it went viral.
Yes.
Okay, the situation went viral, and I hope that it sends a message to people that you just can't do people of color any kind of way you want to, and expect to get away with it. I remember when I'm gonna go back a little bit, and I know you don't like for people to talk about his name. When Trump first became president, and Europeans thought it was okay to call black people the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
And I never will forget the very first whooping I saw in the New York subway. The dude was on the phone, and the European called him the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
He put his phone in his pocket and knocked that rascal out. Just took him straight down. Boom! One punch. I say, I bet he won't call nobody else the N-word after that.
Well, if you're going to Racist School 101 and you're watching video of older generation of black people and you see them with the dogs sicked on them and being hit with billy clubs and fire hoses being put on them and everything, you would think that, okay, white folk had upper hand. I could call them the N-word. I could beat up Negroes all day long. Those days are gone.
They gone.
They long gone. If this
Yep.
viral video has not proven those days are gone, then I feel sorry for anybody out there who think they could do it again.
Yep. Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah, this is a new day.
That's the deep South.
Yeah, that's deep. That's knee deep.
Yeah, that's down there. Man, please. They used to get away with all kind of stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, now they ain't getting away with it no more.
it's a new day.
Yeah. So what you think is the climate right now with the racial situation in urban cities? You think it's still as bad, or you think that they decide to keep their mouth shut and don't be calling so many ninjas? I know they call them Karens now, where they'll jump up and do some crazy stuff and call the police and say, he's got a gun.
There's always a few that just don't get it. And so when you watch these viral videos of people, say at the gas station, they're waiting in line, and this one overweight grandma Karen was in front of this black woman. They were going back and forth, and the black woman said, "Call me the N-word one more time." And Karen did. And then all of a sudden, you just saw this big, fat black woman being a big, fat white Karen, and I had the money on the sister because she was wearing Hellmakers on her. She didn't have a shot. I never seen anybody beat somebody's ass so much that their flip flop came off, and that's how bad she had on the floor. Just raining haymakers. Don't you ever call me that again? And this, I can't use the word she used, but you get my drift. And like I said before, there's always going to be something going to challenge you. They're going to say it because they believe they can say it and get away. It's not like the good old days back in the 1700s. We could say that, and that was somebody's name, and there was no anybody to accost you or beat you up. Once again, let me reiterate, those days are long gone.
Absolutely.
They're long gone. So the temperature in our country when it comes to racism is probably the same, if not higher. When you have people who still fan the flames of racism, like Trump and others who can say, well, I didn't say it, I didn't do anything. Knowing that they did because the power of what they have in their voice and their minions who listen to what they do. And so I never really said it. And they do that lawyer speak thing, and that's where they can get away with stuff, saying what they say. But it gets to a point where you should not let somebody else do their thinking for you. But that's been the thing since the beginning of time. Don't let anybody think for you. Because I think, again, I said this before, if a person who's led, say, like a Trump, because Trump really is a cult figure. I mean, he really has the size of Jim Jones and John Koresh, and even going back to Charles Manson, that same charisma, but the following has a tint or hint or complete evil within it. And so he's no different than that. So when this whole thing with the indictment situation, and it doesn't matter what he does, his followers, well, I call them Trumpites, the Trumpites are going to continue following no matter what he does. So he's one sentence away. I said on my own show last week. He's one sentence away from saying, I'm going to die for your sins. Because he is almost Christ-like.
And he's right there. He's right there.
Yes.
He said he's so close to saying it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only thing missing.
That's right.
You know, because I listened to some of the stuff that he said did I go? They got me because of you or for you. I'm going for
I'm
you.
fighting
And
for
I'm
you.
like, right, and I'm like, this dude right here, he really believes it too.
Well, it's good PR for him. He knows, like the whole thing with the judge, Chuckin saying to him, don't talk to your witnesses and don't talk. That's putting him in the trick bag because he can't help but talk
Right.
and be
Yeah.
defiant.
Right. Well, one thing I do like about this last indictment, and I said this many times before, there were 4 grand juries convened in his honor. 3 out of the 4 have brought back felony counts. We're one short of another round of felony charges. And I think that eventually, he's going to do something to himself. I just believe that, so he can be a martyr and live forever. That's what he's looking for.
I can see that.
Yeah. So look, we got about 15 minutes left in the show. Did we talk about everything that you wanted to talk about? When we've been talking about general things, but anything in particular that you wanted to get in this interview?
Well, shout out to my family. My family means the world to me. And the older I get, I realize just being a blessed man. There could have been a time where the dynamic of family is what you define it. We all have the basic principles, but it's what the people involved define it as. And so, being a father and now a grandfather, it's a wonderful blessing. Again, I remember when my wife Vicky was alive, we talked about it briefly about being grandparents. You do it comes, but it wasn't in. It was important, but it's like, okay, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, type of thing. Only because of the
Mm-hmm.
fact that we're trying to raise 2 girls, our daughters Brianna and Mattia, who are now 33 and 30 respectively. I told them, say, y'all, man, y'all getting old.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and I'm like, how you say that, Daddy? I said, I've always been old. So you guys are getting old, but it's a wonderful thing. And my daughter Mattia has my grandchildren, Emery and Everly, a boy and a girl. And it's once again, when you sit back and look at your life, what it has become, um, when you try to realize that, what, it could have been a different outcome, could have been altogether different. And look where you are now. And it's just, it's very humbling, to say the very least.
Yeah. So you got 2. So that means you smoked a cigar twice.
I had to put the cigar down the second time, but yeah, I did smoke it the first time. I couldn't do it the second time, but yeah, in honor of both of them, yeah, it's and to see both of them, because of course I told people that my uh, youngest lives in Phoenix, Arizona. My oldest lives in outside of Dallas, Texas. So we're on the phone or video calling, and so my grandson Emery, he's a ham. So he loves technology. He grabs the phone and goes all through it and everything else. And so now I become no video. Let me explain that. So when you're doing a video call, if you hit a certain button, the video goes off and becomes no video. So I become no video grandfather. So he gets the phone just to do that. And I'm like, look, boy, and I had to go old school and look, don't you do that, no video, book, no video. So so
Uh,
my granddaughter Everly gets the phone, and she likes to smile and everything. And she said, hey, hey, grand, she, my Mattia told, hey, say hello to grandfather. And she gets the phone. I said, look, don't do like your whack ass brother. Look, don't do the no video on me. And what she does? No, I said, no, not the baby too, not the baby. We got the baby doing the no video too, man. So I got my grandchildren give me the no video at this point, but you know what? I'll take what I can get. I'll take what I can get for the time being, and the no video still gets on my nerve a little bit, but I'll take what I can get until I get a chance to see him in person.
all right, that's beautiful. I'm so happy for you, man, because I know you have that family gene that that allows family to be very, very valuable in you. Me, on the other hand, eh. I got family, but is it a big thing?
You know
Eh.
what? You sound like the late great Bernie Mac. I got family, but I know him, but I don't know him.
Right, 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 right. you know, family is a beautiful thing, but I don't get as excited because I remember one time we did a show around Christmas and you was talking about, man, how excited you were about Christmas. I'm like, man, ain't no way in the world.
Yes, you're the exact opposite. I recall that. Yeah.
Yeah, you like wrapping gifts and unwrapping gifts. Man, no, indeed. That is not my forte. Yeah. So what else is going on? Family. We honor family.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. What else? What else you got going on?
That's been about it. I totally live a boring life, Doc. I mean, I don't have nothing spectacular to say sometimes, and I just appreciate the life that I have. Again, to continue on to communicate with people and to do a talk format and to continue to try to make that grow and work. That's my time these days. And again, between that and family, that's all I need. I can't think of anything else. That's pretty much been it from the standpoint of, again, trying to recreate and doing the shows that I do, and hopefully, knock on wood, bring CBI back. So I like CBI. CBI was a good format to do a one-on-one interview with. I've always appreciated that people came before me doing one-on-one interviews. There's something magical about that connection between the host and the guest, and how the host is able to first make the guest feel comfortable and then get information and make them really feel a part of a good dialogue. So I miss that. So I'm going to get that back up and running. So I think for me, it's always been, I'm in competition with myself. So how can I make myself better? So that's why I stick with. That's been my philosophy since I've been doing this since, I don't know, what, 22, 23 years old.
Okay. That's a beautiful thing. You got experience at it. I never, in the opening story that I told before, we got started, I told everybody that you and I didn't even know each other in the beginning.
No.
And then when we started working together, you would show up religiously at the station, and we would just hang out on the air, and of course we drove management crazy.
Well, we were supposed to do that.
Yeah, I mean, and I never will forget when we were over there with Finney Station.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of your guests, because it was your show at that time, because I had left the station I was at, man, I'm like, I'm out of here. But people would wonder when we had time to rehearse. And the thing about when you gel and click with somebody, you don't have to rehearse. Like if I itch, you gonna scratch. And we know we would get off into stuff, and I tell you, I hope those recordings are somewhere. Because I remember calling in and messing with you on the air with you and what was that girl? The light skinned girl used to sit in with you. She had that show that she would do live in nightclubs and stuff. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I can't think of it offhand. It's that light-skinned girl.
Yeah, the light skinned girl. How many light skinned girls you used to be on the air with?
There was a few.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think you and Cool Out did a show with her or something.
You talking about Suzette?
Yes.
Oh, Suzette, right. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
We all used to work together as co-hosts on Cool Out's program on WVO
right.
at one point. Right.
Because I used to call in and mess with y'all.
Yes. And you sat in one time. It was you,
it was fun.
Myself. Right.
Yeah, it was fun. I think a couple of times we used to chop up, but it was fun. It was really, truly fun being on the airwaves with you, man. And I count it an honor, and I still do. And I thank you for taking time out of your day off to come and hang out with us today. Again, because you've done it before, but you did it again.
Oh, well, look, man, it's been a little bit, and I thank you, Tremaine. Let me say this before I get close to the program, but it's rare, like I said before, to piggyback what you just said. When you find someone on air-wise you connect with, and the great thing about Ron's show, people, was that it was a mixture and gathering a lot of different people, different walks of life that would come onto the show. And I think the main reason why they came onto the show, because he served snacks. And when you serve snacks, that brings everybody to the, because he always had this big ass bag of Fritos and chips and corn chips, and I think that really did it. And then some water. I think that really got people involved. I personally like the Fritos corn chips. That was me. I got the Cheetos, the crunchy kind, not the puffy kind. And so I think that was my hook. But in real talk, these different people from different walks of life being around Ron and everybody started to network, that was the magic of what Ron was doing. So just to watch you do that, that was cool beans, man. And you were doing it in 3D, man. You were doing it.
Thank you. Thank you. And even when we 2 years ago, maybe almost 3 years ago now, 2.5 years ago, when we started on CNN, not CNN,
You guys on
SNN.
CNN. You guys working that, man. We would get checked.
Yeah, they would kick us off the air real
Yeah,
quick.
man. So
But when we started on Street News Now,
right.
and we wound up growing a show called Six Guys and You.
That was a good show.
And it was a great show. And just as Jez said, he was a fan of what we were doing at the time, and he enjoyed it, and many others did too.
Yes, they did.
Man, it's people that call me now asking me when you gonna get the band back together, and I'm like, man, everybody doing something different now.
Right.
The professor, he's doing his stepping, documentaries or whatever you call them, because he's interviewing people, from the Chicago scene with the dance community. And Mike Love's doing his thing, and Buck Wild's doing his thing, and Lee was in and out anyway. But I enjoyed hanging out with my brothers.
That was fun too.
Yeah, we did that thing, and it did what it was supposed to do. It blessed a lot of people, So, it was very, very fun and informative. And boy, I look forward to my next opportunity to do something that great,
It was a wonderful time. It really was.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, look, we got about a couple of minutes left to get out of here. I always got a couple of questions that I have to ask my guests before I get out of here. The first question is, will you come back and visit me again?
Of course.
Thank you, sir. I always like to get it on tape. And the next question is, what would you like to leave with the people before we leave today?
I'll leave you with the ending of my show that I do with Baseline. Continue to be safe, continue to be sound, continue to be healthy, and most importantly, above anything else, continue to be loved. Long live the peace, long live the funk, more power to you, and be kind.
Man, I love it. That's what's up. And once again, I can't thank you enough, man. I appreciate it. Now I'm gonna get this on tape too. I know you're gonna eventually schedule come hanging out with me on the Noon Report, because me and Lee still hanging over there on Street News Now. For those that don't know, we're gonna get Chris over there to hang out with us on the Noon Report. So thank you, man. I love you and I appreciate you, and much love and blessing to you and your family as well.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ron. Love you more. And peace and blessings to you and your family. We really don't really care for them. Let's send them out some love anyway.
Yeah, I'll give them to you. I'll send you the address.
I don't need any more. I got
mine. All right, man. Take care, my brother. Hold on. Don't go. I'm going to put you in the green room.
All right. Take care, brother.
I want to invite you guys to come join me tomorrow, Street News Now, each and every Wednesday at noon. We're over there doing the Noon Report, where we do news commentaries, me and Lee on occasion, but me more so than Lee. But come and join me each and every Wednesday over there. Also, I want to invite you guys to come join me each and every Saturday from the desk of Dr. Ron, where I give what's on my heart each and every opportunity I get a chance. I get ready to spread words of wisdom. I look them up, of course, on each and every Wednesday. Once again, I want to thank you guys for making contributions. This is all the ways that you can be a blessing to me and my to me and my family. This is it. You can bless my family here. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Please tell somebody about the show, spread the show, and I thank you all for tuning in. And you all stay blessed, and we'll see you guys on tomorrow.